Alright guys, get prepared to stare at my face for a while. Big Bass Tony here with part 1 of the series teaching you how to bass fish. I want to take a brief moment just to talk about what I'm going to be covering in this series. Now keep in mind this is coming from a kayaker's perspective, but a lot of this will intertwine and mesh with a tournament angler or a beginning angler who's fishing one off the bank or even on a bass boat. It doesn't matter. I'm going to start with some very basic things and kind of allow you guys to pick my brain. So if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them below and I'll get back with you as soon as possible on that. Again, I'm going to be covering different things: tackle, gear, baits, colors, electronics, and basically just ways to help you be successful in bass fishing, yet at the same time keep it simple. It can be quite overwhelming with all the different things available to a bass fisherman. Okay, so on my last video, someone commented that I was focusing on my fish finder for a while, and what was I looking at? And my answer to him is, well, I was looking for fish, but more importantly, I was looking for changes in the bottom. Bass love change. They love change from dirt to rock, from deep to shallow. That's what I was looking for on my fish finder. I was looking for fish, but many times you won't see a fish on your fish finder, and there could be fish there. Might not be a lot, but anyway, my first tip for you guys as a beginning bass fisherman is, number one, you have to know what the bass are doing in that particular time of the year. And what determines what the bass are doing is the water temperature. So you can be in a summer pattern, but if the water temperature isn't above the 90s, they may be in a different part of the lake than they normally are. That's something you got to figure out. That's the most important thing to bass fishing and finding more fish. You find the fish, you'll figure out a way to catch them. But becoming a successful bass angler is knowing your seasonal patterns. Right now, I'm in Texas, southern state. It's very hot. We're talking mid to high 90s. Water temperatures are low 90s up to mid 90s, depending on what lake you're on. And it's hot. The water temperature is hot. The fish's metabolism is high. They're actively feeding. A lot of the shad spawn. There's a lot of big bait fish. And it's a good time of the year to throw big lures. But more importantly, it's a time to fish deep. These fish are miserable just like us. One, they want to find shade. They want to find cooler, deeper water. So that right there, just with that in your head, will allow you to quit wasting your time junk fishing areas where there's not really any potential for bass to be. Maybe an early morning bite would be good before it gets blistering hot during the summer day, but for the most part, your fish are going to be deeper in the summer. For example, let's take, you guys know my home lake is Lake Conroe. A lot of people flip docks out here, and you can catch fish off docks. That's no secret here. They like to get up underneath that shade, and it's cooler, just like I like sitting in the shade right now while I'm filming. Well, it's the same for the fish. But let's say you have a shallow dock with shade and a deep dock with shade. Which one are you going to fish during the summer? Key things like that is what's going to put more fish in your boat or kayak or in your hands, whatever. Once you begin to keep that in your mind and stop fishing those spots that look so great, you're like, oh man, that just looks like that should be full of fish, and you go fishing and you don't get a bite. Or maybe if you would have stuck with your original game plan of taking the knowledge that you know and saying, hey, these fish are probably going to be deeper. I'm going to use my electronics to troll around until I find, one, some bait fish, and two, some fish feeding on them. And that's going to be, one, looking for changes in the bottom and looking for deep fish off main lake points, creek channels, stuff like that. Again, now this is for the beginner. I'm not going to go into greater detail on each of these things until later on in this series, but I am going to teach you guys based on what seasonal pattern I'm using. You know, we're in the summer now in Texas. It's hot, so I'm going to teach you guys about fishing during hot days of summer. Here's another tip for you guys that is very helpful, using your electronics. Now let's say you can't afford electronics for your boat, or you don't own a boat. Well, most of us have smartphones. Get on your smartphone, go into your app store, whether you're Android or you're an Apple phone. Get on your device and search Navionics. Navionics is a platform that allows you to read your local lake maps, your topo maps, which show you the contours of the lake, the drop-offs, the points, the humps, all that stuff. And if you guys want to learn how to read a topo map, that would be something I'd be willing to cover. Just let me know in the comments below. For $10 you can download the app, and I'll put a link in the description so you guys can find it. But it's $10 and it's well worth it. It gives you a greater understanding of the lake, what it looks like underneath, and that right there is vital when it comes to bass fishing. With having something like that and then knowing your seasonal patterns, then you can eliminate a lot of water and start fishing the areas that are going to have greater potential for bass. You guys check out the app, download it, play with it. Let me know what you think about it. I'm not affiliated with any of this stuff I'm talking about. So remember, it's summer, it's hot, the fish are hot just like you and I. Look for shade. If you're fishing docks or something like that, look for deeper docks. Don't be afraid to throw big lures. Get out there and find them in deeper water. If I was out in my kayak, I could show you guys my screen and things I look for, which I'll eventually do. It's just hard to talk and film on the kayak on a windy day and water and boats and people. So, but that's something I'm going to do in the future. This wraps up part 1 of this series. I'm going to cover baits and some of the lures you can use for summertime fishing, and some of the just basic techniques that you can use year-round to catch more fish. Stay tuned, guys. I hope this helps you out. I'm really looking forward to this series. I'm really looking forward to you guys learning how to fish. Share it. Let's teach everybody else how to fish. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and share. And if you're new, subscribe so you can catch the next episodes and learn how to catch some of these greenbacks. Take care, guys. God bless. Come on.